Welcome to Confessions of a Leader. I'm Ian Pascoe, the CEO and Managing Partner of Grant Thornton. On this podcast, I sit down with some of Thailand's most dynamic and accomplished leaders to uncover their stories, the turning points, the challenges, and the leadership lessons they've learned along the way. My guest today is Patee Sarasin, CEO of Really Cool Airlines, Thailand's newest and boldest entrant into the aviation space. With decades of experience across aviation and media, Patee is known for his fresh ideas, fearless leadership and style, and ability to disrupt even the most established industries. Really Cool Airlines is scheduled to launch its first long-haul flights this year, and many are watching very closely to see how this unconventional brand plans to make its mark in a highly competitive industry. Patee, welcome.
Thank you.
Great to have you here.
Wow, nice. I like the sign.
Yeah,
stuff.
well, I probably did this for you this time. We
Oh,
don't
really?
normally go quite this extreme, but
Okay.
you know,
All
we've
right.
got someone important. Want to talk a little bit? Yeah, obviously you're well known in the market, sort of pretty famous for various things, but probably most known from your experience with Nok Air, your CEO, and sort of synonymous with the aviation industry.
That's right.
But that's not where you started.
No.
You sort of fell into that. It's fascinating how you actually fell into that role.
Yes, it was
We
quite.
start with that.
Yeah, it was unintentional.
Right.
Because actually I was approached by one of the Thai Airways guys to think about the low-cost airlines, and at the time I didn't even know what it was. He said, "What the hell's low-cost airlines?" And he goes, "Well, here's a book, Southwest, sort of thing."
Right.
I said, "Okay, you want me to read this?" He said, "No. Let me tell you, blah blah blah." And he said that right now there's quite a few low-cost airlines happening in Asia, and one of them is ours. It's called Sky Asia, and Tony Fernandez had Air Asia. I said, "Oh, Sky Asia." I said, "Wow, what a weird name, That's boring." Yeah, He said, "Well, there we are. So, we want to do marketing on this brand."
You with Bates then, were you?
I was the CEO of Bates. I was the CEO of Bates Advertising since I was 30, part of the WPP group, Sir Martin Sorrell and all.
Right.
And I was involved in something else, and then he came over and he said, "Look, can you help us?" So I said, "Okay, right. What's your media budget?" He said, "Well, we don't know." I said, "Well, how about 40 million baht? And I could start." He goes, "Okay." So that's a conversation, but he's old friend of mine. So we were discussing the whole thing. And he said that, I said, "Look, man, do you want to change the name?" And he goes, "Yeah, if it's possible, but we don't know. We have to ask Thai Airways about this." I said, "Fine, but this one won't work. Okay?" And he goes, "Okay." So I told him, "Listen, I have a meeting with Heineken beer next door." He came with 3 people, by the way, from Thai Airways. "Why don't you write the names that you think is going to be quite good on the board, yeah?" And he goes, "Okay." And I'll come back about in an hour. Let's hear what it is. And of course, I went away half an hour. And in an hour, I came back and had the board full of names of these airlines, all this nonsense, And I said, "Wow, man, no, it doesn't trigger. Okay, it's too difficult." But the guy's name's Nok. His nickname was Nok.
Okay.
Yardman's
yeah, okay.
nickname was Nok.
Right.
So I said, "Why don't we have your name? Nok Air, You own it." He goes, "Well, I don't know, man. I don't know if the TG will buy that idea." I said, "Look, listen, I think it's the best. It's hot. You can remember it, and very Thai. No other airlines can copy it. And let's keep it like that. Let's give it a go." So I called up my creative director, from advertising, right? I said,
Right.
"Look, design me 3 planes, type of planes, that Nok Air. And give one conservative one medium one, and really one extreme. And we'll come back in a couple of days." Okay, so we left it at that. The Thai Airways guy was like, "Oh, well, we don't know, I think about 2 days later, they came back and said, "Okay, let me present to you the Nok Air brand." So here was the 3 types of, and the last, obviously, I picked the most extreme with beak and all, right? So this is going to be your brand, man.
Oh, this is delivery on the plane.
Oh, delivery of flight.
Right. Okay.
And he goes, "Oh God, yeah." Well, I said, "Okay, now that we have the look and the feel different, let's think about what is going to be a differentiation point between yours and other airlines, in Thailand." He goes, "Well, we're thinking of a distribution channel, and how about if we distribute at 7-Eleven or something. He said, great. I did that for Telecom Asia, whereby we changed the distribution channel that really meets the people, because internet is still very.
When you're saying distribution, is what, selling tickets?
Selling tickets.
Yeah, right.
So we're the first airline that sold tickets in 7-Elevens. So hence, anyway, we came up to that point, and then he suddenly asked me, "Hey, listen, you would like to own this airline, I
Own
said,
it.
Yeah,
Run it.
because it was a part of a separate company
Right.
that would be bought by TG or something. Yeah.
So was it owned by TG then?
No, it wasn't yet owned by TG. It was just a company. And I said, how much is that worth, He said, well, let's put 1 million baht in, 200,000 baht each or something. Would you like to invest? I said, sure, 200,000 baht, easy for you. So we put 200,000 baht in. And then we want to formulate the company, and in such a way that when TG buys it, we'll be part of it, Anyway, so we started off that way. And then we started talking about structuring the company, that kind of stuff. And I said, oh, yeah, okay, well, why do we have Kun Anand Banjarachun as the chairman, and I have my uncle as the CEO and you COO and all that kind of stuff. Nothing to do with me, right? That kind of stuff. And I said, okay, well, this is going to be the sort of a structure of the company. We were joking around, and apparently what happened was that behind the scene, there was something else entirely different, because Biat was working for Thai Airways. So obviously he had some discussions in Thai Airways. And a lot of people wanted to be the CEO of Sky Asia. Apparently, I had no understanding of the politics of this. Nothing. And so I didn't take much notice about this. Well, one day, he called up to me and said, listen, I was at the Tower Records, buying some CDs and stuff.
Tower Records, that's going to make a while.
You're really long time. 2003, huh?
Right.
He called me up and said, hey, listen, I know who can be a CEO. I said, who? He said, you. I said, oh, come on, man. No, I don't even know anything about airlines, No idea. And he goes, no. But I think, can we put your name in it? Just in case, to compete with other guys, because apparently there's lots of people wants to do this. Well, you can put the names in. I don't really care, but I don't really want to do this. I can't. I don't know how to run an airline. So anyway, that he went away. And 2 days later, the chairman of Thai Airways called me up and said, hey, Patee, can you come to my office to present to me, your plan for the airlines? I said, wow, that's 40 million baht media in my pocket, man. If the chairman of Thai Airways...
So you're going to go and see him as Bates then?
As Bates.
Right.
I want to sell my advertising project,
Right.
I want to make money. I don't really care about airlines. So I went in, and so I presented to him. It took me half an hour. What is it all about? The Nok Air, the positioning, where we fly to. This was, of course, Biat's thing. And distribution, 7-Elevens. After I finished, I said, and the media will be around 40 million baht. Advertising, quite cheap. He goes, hey, listen, why don't you run it? I said, no. I can't run an airline. I don't know anything about the operation of airlines. Because we're right next door. He can help you. Your friend. I said, no. It won't happen. I just kept on going, no. And then eventually I said, listen, you know my father, right? I bet you he will say no, because airlines is for politics. So literally,
True it was.
I called up.
Still is.
It still is. So I called him, my dad, right, at the time, said, hey, Kun Thanong wants me to run an airline. He goes, no, it's not going to happen. You're doing well. You've got full income and really quite rich, So I said to Kun Thanong, right, I said, hey, look, man, it's not happening, right? Can't help do this stuff. So he said, okay. So I said, all right, but I can help the marketing with Biat anytime. So we shut my computer and we were in the car. My dad called me. Hey, I said, what's up, Help the country. I said, what? What do you mean help the country? Help the country. Doing what? Run the airline. I said, I can't do it. It was a joke, right? I said, no, it's not going to work. He goes, no. I talked to the chairman again, and you're going to help the country. I think it's worthwhile.
Helping the country with 3 planes?
With running the airline.
Right.
Okay. I said, oh my God, so I was half-heartedly, I started laughing and we put the phone down. I told Beyond, I said, listen, man, I can help you for 3 months. Okay? Airlines, 3 months. You gonna run it.
Right.
He started laughing. Yeah, whatever. They've been working all this behind, right?
Right.
Lobbying part, trying to convince me into this. Anyway, we went through this whole thing. And then the next day, the board of directors started calling me in for meetings and stuff like that. And I said, hey man, And the first thing he said was a breakfast meeting. As a Dr. Bichit, he was one of the board members. First meeting. I said, okay, all right. I sat down, and the first thing he said was, your salary is 500,000 baht, which was half of my salary, by the way. Yeah. I started laughing, saying, no, 500,000 baht. That's 50% off from my.
But you're helping the country.
Helping the country, exactly.
Good.
He goes, well, it's low-cost airlines. I said, yeah, right. He said, okay, well, I haven't accepted this yet. Well, it's 500,000 baht, man. That's what you're gonna do.
So you end up being sort of rest is history.
Pushing into this, right? And I said, oh, well, okay, whatever. I said, breakfast meeting. And then Pia came to me and said, how would you like to do the strategy for the airlines? As a marketing part. And at the time, I said, look, I'm going to be in a nightclub tonight. Okay? It's a big party with all the girls and everything. I finish around 2 a.m. You meet me at the club. You believe this is crazy stuff, right? And of course, I went to this nightclub, and then we had these 3 Thai Airways guys in a suit in a nightclub waiting for me to finish my pool party. You wouldn't believe this, right?
Pool party.
It was a pool party, it was a foam party. All the women, the girls. I was, quite young, but I was having a great time. Came out, and they said, okay.
Well, of course, you weren't married at this stage.
No, not married.
Okay,
no,
so your
no,
pool party was good.
Oh, a long time before I even went. And and he came up to me and said, okay, how would you like to structure your company? I said, give me a napkin. He put a napkin in front of me, and I drew up. Okay, this is strategically operations and this and this. Nothing to do with it. This is the marketing part. I want to push the strategy, pull strategy. Here it is. The rest you go and do it. I don't know how to run. They went, okay, when do you want this? I said, whenever you're ready. I don't really care. But anyway, these things progress onwards. And then continuously, Kun Kanok Apiridi was the DD, president of TG at that time. He called me up one day. He said, hey, listen, can I come see you at your office? At Bates. Sure. I'm going to be at the Pacific Club, and why don't you come upstairs? So I went upstairs, and then he said, we're going to Sky Asia this, Sky Asia that. And I said, hey, PP, it's not Sky Asia. So, what is it? It's Nok Air. He goes, okay. This is the president of TG.
Right.
I didn't know about it,
But TG owned it then. That's when they took over.
Sky Asia was Kun Kanok's baby. I changed the name, but to Kun Sanong, everything else, the chairman already of Thai Airways, but he didn't know about it. He just came to see me. He knows that I'm going to be running this airline.
Okay.
But also came to see me about it, And I said, no, it's called Nok Air. Wow, he was taken aback, And I said, but okay, that's a cool name. I said, yeah, I'll keep it that way. He goes, I want you to meet the Thai Airways management at some point. I said, fine. At the time, you have to think, I was thinking only doing this for 3 months, okay?
Right.
I never thought of leaving base at all. So I never told anyone at base I'm going to be leaving. All I'm saying is I'm going to get this account. And I all in my mind, I wanted Biak to be the one. So anyway, one Saturday, I was actually at a fish market, buying. I actually used to have live fish.
Mm-hmm.
And it was close to Thai Airways office. And he called me up and said, listen, can you come in to meet me, at the office? And I was in my shorts and my flip-flops. So you want me to come to the office now?
But you would just dress how you normally dressed.
Yeah, just like I normally do. And it goes, at a market, whatever. He goes, come to see me. I said, what do you want me to do? Oh, I want you to meet some people. Okay. So I drove myself, no drivers. I drove myself to this building, TG building. And it comes to the 30th floor. And I was sitting there, And the secretary was there. And the secretary said, hey, would you like to wear a jacket? So why? Why? So, well, it's okay. If you don't want to, that's fine. Half an hour later, I was still there. Would you like to wear a jacket? I said, no, I don't really need a jacket. I'm nice. It's too hot. Okay? It's the 30s. Again. And then Nok came out and said, hey, okay, I would like you to meet the rest of the TG management. I said, whoa, okay. I walked in. They looked at me like, who is this kid, Look, and they're all in suits, by the way. All in, up and down. And said, are you the one dressed like this, going to be running an airline? I was really taken aback, I said, listen, I don't have to do this stuff, okay? I'm here, just came from a Jatujak, You can buy my brains or you can buy my clothes. Right now, it looks like you're taking my clothes. I don't want to do this. I'll resign tomorrow.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't want to. I walked out and Gano ran after me. Said, hey. Wait, come back. I sat down and said, look, man, either you're going to buy my brain or whatever. So what do you know about the airlines? They all asked me. I said, I have no idea. Did you know what load factor is? No. Did you know how to do MRO? I didn't even know what MRO was, right? And so anyway, they were sort of testing me. But I said, look, I'm trying to be polite now. I said, okay, look, listen. I'm not in the airline business, but I'm willing to learn how to do this properly, okay? So we got along better, after we finished. And so it was all fine. And then one meeting with the chairman, I said, before the reveal of the brand, launch of the brand, I said to the chairman, I said, do we have to tell him it's Nok Air yet? To the board of directors of TG? And he goes, oh, it's time now because we're launching in 3 days. So you have to, no surprise. I said, okay, I'll present to the board of directors of TG what Nok Air is doing. So of course I did. And guess what? The whole board, there's 12 people, they go, oh my God. Of course, Thai Airways, right? What the hell is Nok? But anyway, so we kept it to that. Then I stressed with the PR again and said, listen, man, okay, this is 3 months thing. I'll launch a brand for you, whatever. I guarantee 40 million baht for advertising. And once we do this, then we have a transition when the plane's really ready.
Right.
The plan was July 22nd was flight. That was in February, I remember. February 4th. Okay. So anyway, I told the chairman, I said, look, in order for me to do this press conference, we're going to come out of an egg, okay? It's no. Yeah. And you have to come out too, if you want me to do this. The chairman, Thai Airways, step out of the eggshell.
Understand.
He goes, okay, I'm willing to do that. So
you're confident you could do it?
I was just press conference. I thought it was a local media. Who cares, Then the way airlines work is that they transition. I had no clue that it was international media is going to be there.
Right.
I thought it was just to be Thais, right? But I forgot it's Thai Airways. The whole world's coming.
Yeah.
I didn't know how much of a profile the airlines would get. So I came out, bird and everything. And lo and behold, there was BBC, Bloomberg. I said, oh, at the time when I saw this media, I said to myself, oh shit, my boss going to see this in England. And sure did. Martin Sorrell.
But did Bates get the contract?
Oh yeah, of course. But the point though was that the over there in London rang Hong Kong to me and said, what the hell are you doing? I said, I had no idea I was going to win the account, but you're in it.
Well, that's one way to win the account, isn't it? Just go and run the company, the account you're going to be.
So I said, oh God. He said, oh my God. Obviously, went havoc across the base worldwide thing, I said, oh man. So you have to do it now because you made all the announcement, that kind of stuff, right? It's a full-time commitment.
Did you feel prepared? Your leadership rolls up to then, and yet really in Bates. Did you feel you were ready for that sort of leadership?
In a way, yes, because there was only 5-6 people, right, in the company
Then,
Yeah,
right.
at the time. But I wasn't really in it because Piat was running the show to prepare.
So it was operations.
Yeah, operations. But I was more like a marketing. Although it's just a face, right? Not much of the real operations. So I was still very much for Bates and roll myself over there. But yeah, so it was a big transition. And suddenly I said to myself, oh my God, I am now in deep shit. I have to run it now. And of course, the minute we finished the press conference, Piat told me, tomorrow we have to go to Singapore. I said, why? Because there's an aviation conference. It was a low-cost conference in Singapore. And I said to myself, are you serious? I said, what am I going to say? Oh, you're going to be sitting next to Tony Fernandez, Air Asia. I said, oh my God, what am I going to say? I don't know much about this. And particularly on that day, I think Air Asia knew that we were going to have a press conference. They took the media up in the air, as a test flight. The plane had problems. It landed before it's supposed to. So I said, and so I knew this was going to be happening. So of course we sat down with Tony Fernandez and next to me at the conference. And Tony, he opened his mouth in the wrong way. He went, oh man, around Asia, there are all these animal airlines. We have Tiger, we have this, we have Nok next to me,
We have Tiger, Lion.
Tiger, Lion, and of course we're Nok, right? So I got a bit offended. I said, what the hell are you talking about? So it was my turn. I said, listen, man, I'm telling you, we are airline. Yes, we are a bird, but at least our bird will be staying in flight. Even there'll be no issues in the air, just like you guys just did the other day. I had to land before. Oh, then the whole hall erupted. It's going to be a war, right, between the low cost. And I think that's when everything started for me in terms of let's get this shit done, beat the shit out of Air Asia. That's what I thought to myself. And that's where I started.
So you led from a branding point of view, really?
Yeah.
Okay. But coming back to the leadership, and obviously there's so many things that happened in your time then, but if you took over at an interesting time because we had a tsunami fairly soon after.
Yeah.
And I always say Thailand seems to like throwing a crisis at us nearly every year. How did you handle the various crises you had? Because obviously an airline, airport closures, floods, systems breaking down. What did that teach you?
It teaches you a lot because being an entrepreneur is like an entrepreneur in a way. The leadership part is you have to be involved in the actual doing it. You can't just order things around, okay? If you don't show by examples, it's not going to happen. For example, in the floods, I'm actually involved in the actual looking after the passengers in trouble, Being there, we had to transfer the planes coming in from Don Mueang to Suvarnabhumi overnight in 24 hours.
Oh, that's right. Don Mueang flooded, didn't it?
Yeah, Don Mueang flooded. Of course, I met with the Prime Minister and she had her office at the airport. And I said, I tell you, I think it's going to flood over here in Don Mueang. And she goes, no, we're here. And sure enough, within 6 hours, the water was pouring in, right? So what happened was I had to move I was actually prepared, having our team ready up in Suvarnabhumi just in case already that we're going to, and we had to do that. I don't even remember how many aircrafts now, 12 aircrafts had to be stationed in Suvarnabhumi overnight and maintain the service. So what happened was that when there was an issue, we were prepared, but not the senior people don't have the card going into the airside.
Right.
I'm the only one. So plus some ground staff. I went in, it was 300 passengers when the planes couldn't come in time, screaming, I had to do this stuff to look after these passengers personally. I swear to you, man, it was crazy. The first thing, it was a big mess. And everyone was screaming about, blah, blah, blah. They don't care there's a flood. What? We want to fly to Phuket, and you're not flying. So listen, I said, I came in, there was a big scramble going on. So the first thing I made an assessment was that there's 300 passengers. There's about 12 flights that we need to take off. So I called Pia, I said, hey Pia, call Bangkok Airways. I want to use a lounge now. And Pia, okay, can you arrange it? Yeah, fine. So the minute that happens, I start transferring the passengers first to the lounge so they calm down. Right? There's something with children and all that shit. Then I said, okay, I am willing to provide the food because it's delayed for 8 hours. Who's Ethan? 20% of them. Okay, give me a receipt. I'm gonna pay you now. I went to the ATM, press all the ATM, my bank, to pay for this food, and I provided.
So this is for the passengers that were delayed.
Yes, that's 300.
That's hands-on.
that's
hands-on.
Hands-on ATM, right? And I told my staff, I said, you go relax. I'll handle these guys. So I said, okay, who's going to Ubon? Raise up your hand. Okay, me. And I personally took over the radio for the control. And I said, right now I'm doing a coup, okay? I'm going to be the one who's going to tell you where the plane's going to go. Every plane, the goddamn planes, where are we going to go? And personally, I actually was in charge of directing each passengers to different destinations. We finished at 4 a.m.
And you had the people. You were leading the people.
The ground, yeah. Ground staff, about 12 of them.
And obviously, I've often said with airlines, people didn't necessarily in the transport business or in the service business. How did you get your people to follow and believe in that service model? Because certainly back in your day, the service was really good. Everyone was smiley and friendly, and it was flying with smiles. How did you sort of instill that into those people? That's what that was important.
Everything you do is lead by example. Okay,
right?
You have to live it. If you're just ordering and laissez-faire, it doesn't work. Every time there's an issue, I'm going to be the last person, either somewhere along the line, to be in touch with these guys. Even on the maintenance side, right? I actually used to go to the airport every Tuesday or Wednesday at midnight, to say hello to my maintenance team, to make sure they're okay. So what we do is we try to keep in touch with our staff and people all the time so that we maintain the relationship. It's so important, the relationship between you and your staff, as best you can. Obviously, we have 3,500 crew and staff members. We don't know everybody, but they can see and reflect all the time that you're going to be in touch with these guys. Okay, it's important, and you have to have a lot of resilience. I mean, there's certain things you're not going to get. You have to have a lot of patience sometimes, and you sort of have to wing it across at most of the time. But you cannot be politics. You cannot divide and rule. You cannot be partial. I never go to any birthday parties because if I go to one, I have to go to all. So I never go. Stuff like that.
I'll take you off my list. You're not coming.
Never go to birthday parties for this group and not this group. If you're going to go to one, you go to all of them. Right. So and what I also do is I don't want people celebrating my birthday. Stay away from this. This is my life. Okay, keep it impersonal when it is yourself. I don't like gifts. I don't like all these presents coming in. I don't like them. So in the end, whoever brought in the gifts is depleting because I never return the favor. Never return the favor. I don't do this stuff. So whatever we do is we have to be actually very sort of transparently equal. And you have to maintain yourself to be very transparent. I think in airlines business, what goes wrong is where there's always under table here, corrupted there, So therefore, it's all to do with leadership.
Right. If
leadership don't do it, I hardly sit on the seats in the planes when I travel. I sit with the pilots at the cockpit. I get to talk to the pilots. So how's life? How's everything? And this is where we're going, what we're doing, all the time. So to maintain that relationship that way, but I don't take the, comfort the seats or whatever. If my kids and whatever come, somehow we pay for it.
Okay.
For the seats as well.
Let's fast forward now.
Okay.
Because you're trying to do the same thing again.
Yes.
Really cool.
It's even harder these days to do it because we're post-COVID, right? We're talking about supply chain in trouble, Suddenly there's a surge of traveling. Aircraft's hard to find. It's taken pain because you think it's going to be ready,
yes,
but it's not ready because you cannot get the planes. And there was this supply chain between the lessors and the money, the investors. Yeah. Investors always ask, "Where's the plane? What will you pay for?" And the lessors at the time said, "Oh, we've got the plane, but where's the money?" So it's like jigsaw.
Well, it's difficult to get any lessor to put planes into Thailand. at the moment.
because of whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
But the point though is that even though with the relationship, I know all the lessors, I mean, they're all friends of mine, but I can see. But in the end, even when I went to ISTAT in Hong Kong, there's no planes.
No, it's a massive shortage.
Really
And
short.
I think that's one of the problems, right? You know,
Oh.
why are lessors going to put, when there's a shortage of aircraft, why put them into Thailand with some of the challenges they've had when airlines default?
Exactly.
Whereas you can put, Australia's searching for planes, countries, I guess, with legal systems that enable the lessors to get their aircraft
Well,
back.
that's I should call that a bit of a shorter vision in a way, because those are the guys that they don't have, they've been not paying either, right?
Yeah.
So we're starting point. I actually maintain quite a good reputation with regards to the payment of the plane, stuff like that. We never, screwed up, but so the reputation has been very clear with us as Nok Air in my days, for sure. Always find a solution that makes sense, and always work with the lessors in such a way that it was really well done. Even though we're going through all these different crises, right?
Yes.
Even the fuel costs and all that kind of stuff. But they're like a bank, I guess, right?
Yeah.
They said, well, you're a startup, so it's good, you're not gonna get much, blah blah blah. Like now they are now approaching me now. But so I was looking strategically in terms of the way the airlines are functioning post COVID.
Right.
I said to myself, God, going through COVID, there must be some changes. They must be different. They cannot go the same way it is, the way it's run before.
Okay.
And they do go back to exactly the same as
Sure.
pre-COVID. I said to myself, the risk factor is exactly the same. So that's why you have to come up with something totally different. So I came up with, a really, I think, cool shit. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you what it is at the moment until it happens, but definitely. But still, having said that, dealing with the supply chains is going to be difficult. And we had to go through pains of hiring the staff, and I have to keep them at bay for now. The fixed cost is burning until we have the planes. And I think now.
Okay. So when you did Nok, and Nok was a low-cost airline,
Mhm.
obviously there was Lion, there was Air Asia. Your big thing was you wanted to make Nok different, right? Because if you're just competing on price, obviously there's challenges, right? So you were looking at how you distinguish the brand.
That's correct.
And made, and definitely had a different look and feel for it at the time. Without going too much into your secrets on Really Cool, how are you going to make Really Cool different?
Yes.
Besides obviously the party factor that everyone says parties involved.
No, the key pointer is that how do we still able to get the cash flow into the company at least, even when the plane don't fly?
Right.
That's the game. So that maintain the whole relationship as a standalone, the cash flow has to be able to stand.
Mhm.
Okay. So this is one way that I had to come up with, and I've come up with different ways of doing this. So hence the word Really Cool is actually an adjective.
Mhm.
Really Cool can expand all the ecosystem across the board, whatever we do, right? People can understand the brand immediately at any age, anywhere in the world. They understand exactly the same thing. So that's number one. Number two is that how do we come up business that actually was thriving when we cannot fly?
Right.
And how do we turn that into a mix into whatever we're doing? So when we're flying, it's still popular and maintaining the cash flow, even if the planes don't fly.
Right.
How do you maintain that cash flow without going through the negotiating with the leasing again? And blah.
I'll be fascinated to see how you're going to get cash flow without flying planes. But
Exactly.
that'll be something to watch.
Exactly.
I mean, look, everyone's talking about your airline, right? There's
Yeah.
a lot of talk in the market. Party's back. He's going to do Really Cool.
Yes.
Obviously, there's an expectation there. So,
Of course.
will you live up to that expectation that he's going to be really cool? And
Well,
one thing, really cool?
the biggest constraint of ours, obviously, because our aircraft would not be brand new. Okay, that's the only part I'm trying to figure out what to do in terms of to make it cool enough, right? Because number one is that the supply chains like this, I have to grab whatever I can. But aside from that, it will be really shockingly cool.
Shockingly cool.
Oh shit! I'm gonna blow this world into a different spot. And the beauty is, everyone is going to copy me.
I'm going to copy you.
Oh yeah. Well, the 7-Eleven deal, everybody copied, right?
Right.
I remember the application, the Apple Watch. Yeah. We've always been copied.
Any hints of what's going to be really cool?
I'm not going to tell you. I think it's very high tech.
Right.
Is using the technology, is able to scale the revenues without scaling the costs, right? It's a ability to shift forward and expand it globally in no time.
Right.
Okay. And I don't require to have 200 airplanes to make more money than people with 200 planes.
How many planes do you think you'll have?
I've tried. Look, man, I'm going to start off with the first 2, 4, 6 aircraft within the next 3 to 5 years. Okay.
Okay.
With 2 to 3 years. Let's put it this way. It could be faster. Depends. But I think even with 6 planes, I can make a lot of money.
But you're long haul.
Long haul.
Long
Yes.
medium haul.
Strategically, we fly only long haul because I believe the short haul and the regional part around here is all red ocean. Okay. We have there's too many supplies. The Thai Jet, AirAsia, all these guys, Lion Air, all increasing the capacity of the narrow bodies. I don't want to go into this. What I want to do is to go into the long haul basis that we actually have a chance to breathe and do really well. And I believe the long haul is more fun for me to jump into. I don't want to go back to the same old crap, like you don't want to be a secretary all your life. I don't want to do that because been there, done that. I want to take a whole new challenge to make it good. So like today we had Narita Airport coming in. We had many airports coming to see me at my house actually.
Right.
And so they're all waiting for my planes to fly, right? I'm waiting for planes too.
I get asked a lot of questions. What's going to happen with Patee Airlines? So
yeah.
But recently, you're not even just beyond airlines.
Yes.
Appointed chairman of Raymond Land.
Yes, Raymond Land. Actually, with the board of directors of Raymond Land for some time, but I see a cross pollination happening. I'm actually going to put a swap shares between the Raymond Land and Really Cool Airlines because we want to expand across Raymond Land. You're
going to cross between
Raymond Land and Really Cool Airlines shares, swap shares, so that we own each other.
Okay.
Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand Raymond Land's real estate into other countries as well, internationally. Okay. And whereby we're going to utilize the hospitality market with the airlines to create no confusion. It's going to be very different. Okay. So it's going to go in together. So simultaneously going to grow physically as well as,
So we're going to expect to see a change in Raymond Land in the brand image.
That's correct. We turn real estate into much more a lifestyle, much cooler than just an ultra luxury real estate.
Really Cool Raymond Land.
It's going to happen starting from June. You can start seeing already. We're going to start already because it's got the products, right? It's like I have an airline with airplanes. I've got 10 buildings under me now, 10, 12 buildings, whatever, and launching 2, 3 more. So I'm going to start working on that starting June. Actually, you'll start seeing something different already.
Tell us anything we're going to see in June.
No. Wait.
Can't even
wait.
Patee, it's nearly June now.
No, I know. Well, wait another 2 weeks from now. We're going to start seeing already, but it's going to transform into a much younger, much more lively. It's to maintain luxury as point of view, but in the near future also is that Raymond Land is going to expand into investing into other, real estate outside of the country as well.
Okay.
So we're going to see what's going to happen there, and it will be very much in tune with the fact that we are flying there too at the same time wherever we fly to. So you see a lot more exciting shit.
Concerts?
Oh, a lot more than that. Concerts, peanut. There's a lot more.
We have to have the guitar. You're going to have the
concert. Concerts. It's going to be a norm.
You may see concerts.
You may see concerts in the air, where we do a lot of things. But I don't want to reveal it now. But
all right,
putting a lot of effort behind this.
Well, you'll have to come back shortly and tell us when we get all this going.
Yes.
So
hopefully soon.
You're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Very much focused on brand, image. If you were going back to either advise your younger self or someone that was looking at you and said, "How would I get there?"
Yeah.
What are your three major key components you would need to be able to become a good leader?
Yeah.
In this world.
Okay. Expect mistakes.
Right.
But become very resilient. You have to really go through the pain there'll be lots of pains. There'll be lots of hiccups. There'll be lots of unfortunate things that you expect and it's not there as expected. So therefore, expect that. But you have to set on the goal.
Expect the unexpected.
Yeah, because everything's not going to be rosy going through this. For the past 2 years, Really Cool Airlines, it's not rosy. It's been up and down, a lot of pain. But you have to maintain that, and enjoy yourself doing it. It's not going to be enjoyable every moment. Mm-hmm. It's going to be sometimes going to be highly worried, stressful out, whatever. But maintain that. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, if you're not an entrepreneur, don't do it. Okay. If you're a corporate person, you expect to have a weekend, and you're going to relax during the weekend. No, entrepreneur, you're always on top of it. Every minute of the day, you think about it. You come up with ideas and how do we get over this? And yeah, and a lot of conversation with a lot of people, and learn a lot as well.
You've got to have a little bit of ADHD, don't you?
Yes. Well, you have to be really. I go through.
Minor, yeah,
a little bit.
Oh, I know.
Crazy stuff.
So resilience. Expect the unexpected and enjoy.
Learn from the mistakes.
Yeah, there's going to be mistakes.
There's going to be plenty.
Get up.
Yep. Okay.
Patee, been
Good.
great to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Really good.
Good.
We'll be getting you back again soon when all the
everything's
really cool flying.
Yes. Thank you very much.
We're looking forward to that.
Okay. Thanks.
And to all our listeners, thank you for joining us on Confessions of a Leader. We'll be back soon with more conversations from Thailand's top business minds. Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep leading.